A little bit about why I'm late putting this beautiful tutorial on. So you see I've got this beautifully mowed lawn, which I'm really very pleased with, very happy with. Dave, who lives somewhere over there, very kindly came and mowed my lawn because we didn't own a lawnmower, and really sadly the lovely Tom, driver and gardener, passed away earlier this year, and I didn't have the heart to, I don't know, I didn't want to replace him, I suppose. So anyway, then we couldn't afford to have a gardener as time went on. So Dave, who is a professional gardener, the lovely Dave Cartmel, when he came the other day, last week, to cut the grass, he took away all my gathered foliages that were residing on these chairs. So I nearly passed out when I came out and they'd all gone. So I rang him up. I said, Dave, what have you done? Where's all my bits and pieces of materials for my tutorials? He said, I thought they were rubbish, so I've thrown them all away. So then Dave came and brought me all of this week. So I now can do a tutorial, and I can do plenty more besides. I said to him, I'll have more if you've got it. So welcome to today's little tutorial. I hope you're going to enjoy it. I'm using a container that I just have in my kitchen, and it's I've got loads of these all in different sizes, and I put herbs in them and I use them all the time, and literally they are 20 something years worth of getting a Fortnum and Mason's blue Stilton at Christmas time, from various friends of ours who know how much we love it. So it's kind of you could use anything at all, just a container that's really nice. And this arrangement that I'm going to do is very much a relaxed design. Hope you're going to enjoy it. So I'm going to start off with a lovely piece of Lipton, lots of gorgeous shapes to it, and I'm going to go with that in the middle. So I've put a piece of oasis in, and I love how that's going. And then we're going to use loads of these bits and pieces of stuff that the lovely Dave has provided. So look at that, how gorgeous is that? And things like, you know, a bit of a lovely yellowy hue. And I want to gather some stuff out of my garden as we're going along. So basically I'm starting off with this tree, which I'm kind of thinking you could in a few weeks time perhaps hang some little baubles off. So this could be a bit of an alternative to a Christmas tree, but still it's fresh, it's not entirely sort of dried or artificial or whatever. So the plan is now to kind of build around it. So I've not got particularly a massive footprint to go on the table. This is actually going to go on the windowsill in my kitchen, but it's just a lovely thing. So I'm going to use a little bit of Leyland dye. I have to say, Deborah and I had collected a beautiful piece of Leyland dye on a walk that we'd done, and it had been kind of discarded, and I'm guessing in the same way this is, somebody had cut it down from their tree. So because this is kind of the least impressive piece of foliage that I've got, it's going to be the thing that I use at the bottom, the base, the thing that forms the foundation. So always think that when you're arranging with flowers, the thing that is, for want of a better word, the cheapest thing, the least beautiful or the least ornamental, use that at the bottom and build up from there. And then I love the colours in this. I love how you can use the shape of the branch and let it kind of take you on a bit of a journey, because how lovely is that, how it just, ooh, how lovely, gorgeous. So I want that, look at this, is going like this, so I'm going to go that way with this piece, unceremoniously whipped off that nasty leaf. Got a bit of insect damage on it. I'm going to go with this side. But remembering here, the idea is this is not highbrow or expensive in any way. The idea of this is using stuff that would otherwise be thrown away to create something ornamental, something interesting, something that will give you a bit of pleasure for a short while, and bring a little bit of the outside inside. Because right now, that thing that you need when the weather's bad and the weather doesn't allow you to get outside, having a little bit of outside inside is a really, really cool thing. So the other bits that I've now got white, I love this. I have this in my front garden as well, which is really nice. But this is, so I always think that I should use smaller leaf things a little bit longer, bigger leaf things more into the centre, sort of framing your focal area. So these I would use longer, as in taller, and also coming a little bit further on the outsides. So the oasis that I'm using was a little bit of, it was just an offcut of what I had left from doing the pumpkins. So I've now used, in doing these things, I've used a full block of oasis, but over a few weeks. So don't soak a whole block, soak it in the sections that you need it, because you shouldn't really re-soak it. It's not brilliant to re-soak it, and this certainly hasn't been. It was freshly soaked this morning. So I have to say that as a normal rule, I would soak all of this foliage. If I was cutting it out of the garden, certainly in the summer, I would soak it all in water for a good while before I used it. But these things are now sort of more dehydrated, more going towards the autumn, and less beautiful than they are in the summertime. So they can take a bit of going straight into the foam without being conditioned particularly. Some laurel. Now I've got a thing that we're going to make using laurel. So it might be this laurel with berries on. So these berries go bright red in a little while, getting towards Christmas. So my plan would be to do some wreaths with this sort of material that's just literally out of the garden, and some garlands and some swags and different things, and I'll show you how to do them. It's different than what we do in the wreath making. That's a much more sophisticated style of door wreath, and it's also, it will definitely last a lot longer than any of these will. So there's some kind of lovely movement going on here. It's kind of, this is travelling in the direction of the wind. So obviously this branch has been sort of windswept for some time, so it's kind of going that way. And so I've got my foliage also travelling in that general direction too. I'm going to get some mahogany now. So this is a little prickly, there's no doubt about it. But I'm going to, before I start sticking it in, I'm just going to cut off the spiky leaves so that I have a nice clean stem to pop it into the oasis. So again, this is following that same direction. It's really important actually, if you, and we would always say this regardless of the COVID things, but when you're using materials that have got prickles on, really make sure that you sanitize your hands after you've done it, because yeah, you can get quite sore from prickly materials. I would say you know, it's supposed to sting, you know, when you clean your hands afterwards, and then, you know, it's a kind of one of those pleasure pain things. When we've been doing a lot of holly wreaths and things like that, there's nothing better than getting into a really hot bath with salts in, and you get that kind of, ooh, and it's kind of lovely. I don't know why it should be, but it is. Okay, so I'm going to go with this lovely whip off these leaves. So what I'm aiming at is that I've got a nice bit of clean stem to put my mahogany flower into the centre. I don't know if you can see this, but you know the flowers are yellow. When you cut into the stem, it too is really yellow, like turmeric yellow. It's really nice. So this baby now, I'm going to push into the middle of my room. So that's making a really, really lovely focal point. You won't be able to see it. And I kind of like its naturalness and its simplicity, and I like that it's got a home and a use, and it hasn't just ended up on the rubbish pile because it's that time of year when you should be putting stuff back. It's really nice that there it is in the middle of my little arrangement. I'm not going to waste any of these. I've got a really cool idea to use these for an arrangement I'm going to do next week. So hopefully look out for that. Now, I've got these lovely pink berries, and I'm just going to these when we did the walk to Darwin, I picked these up then, and they have been residing on my windowsill, which is where this is going to go afterwards for the past week. Arrangement, definitely a November design, and I hope you've enjoyed watching it. It's simple, it's easy, but it's something that has given me a little bit of pleasure for 10 or 15 minutes, and I hope you have a go, and I really hope that I'll see your arrangements very soon on social media. Thank you very much. So now I've added some other little pots and stuff, and I've got a whole little tableau going on, which is just simple and lovely, and something that will just dress your sideboard at home or your windowsill or wherever, and it's just out of the waste from the garden. So I really love that actually.